All right, so welcome to this little mediation. I know you two might not have started off to the best of situations. However, I do want you to know that this is going to be something that will actually help push you forward in a positive sense. So I just want to say, before we get started, everything here is going to be confidential. So thank you for showing up. I know you might not feel all up to sharing your information to probably people you don't know too well or anything like that, but we are here for you, and you are here for you. So just keep that in mind. So thank you for joining us, Mr. Smith. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Kobayashi. My name is Robert. This is Bernard. We are going to be your mediators for today. And is there anything like that?
Yeah, as you mentioned, everything here is said in confidence, and just feel free to open up and express your feelings, and we're going to do the best to try and portray that to the other person so we can move forward with the situation.
Right. And so I know tensions might be a little high, but the way I like to approach things is to say, you know what, the past is relevant, but we do not want it to affect our present and future. So let's just go ahead and keep that in mind too. And without further ado, we're just going to start off by having each one of you explain your stories. And then after you explain your stories, we're going to have a time where you guys can talk to each other. So save your conversations for towards each other. Save it for later. If anything, you can take notes on what each other say or anything like that. Just save that for the end when we allow you to do that. But first, you're going to go ahead and let us know your stories. And then if there's any problems in between and things start escalating out of control, which hopefully they won't, right? You know. So if it does happen though, we can go ahead and have a little break time, have some coffee, get some food, you know, just start relaxing a little bit, and we're gonna have our one-on-ones.
Right.
I'm glad you guys are smiling. This is good. I know it sounds corny, but this is what mediators do. This is what we're here to do. All right.
Alright, so if Dale, you can go ahead and explain your side of the story.
I mean, pretty much, he's trying to fucking rip me off.
He ruined my garden.
He
ruined my garden.
Now hold on. Before I wanted to let you guys know that this is a place where, you know I may be coming in here and making it sound like we're trying to be lighthearted, but in all seriousness, all the cuss words that, you know, feel free to cuss if it's you know, just thrown in the air, but if it's towards someone or anything that's going to emphasize something that's negative, it needs to stop. So none of that, and please save your comments towards the end when he finishes, okay? So you can go ahead and keep it going, Smith.
I'm being ripped off and blamed and accused and now legally tried for a bunch of things I didn't do. So first off, let's go ahead and start at the part where a few weeks ago I was spraying my backyard with a roundabout to get the rest of the weeds up, you know, because I like to maintain my property. And so as I'm doing this, I have Miss Kobayashi over here telling me that I killed her trees, all of her fruit trees that were supposedly in the backyard.
All destroyed.
She never had.
Destroyed.
Can you
I never had it?
So you're gonna have to
not by me.
You're gonna both have to stop. Now we're gonna.
Kobayashi, can we keep the comments to a minimum? You'll have your chance to speak as soon as Dale is finished. If you can just keep those side notes to yourself, and then you can bring them up on your own time, and we'll politely address those.
What if someone disrespected your father?
This isn't about your father, it's about the things, so can we just get on with this, please?
I'm gonna go ahead and say the disrespect has happened, and I understand that when someone says something that might not make you feel better, you would normally retaliate in a way that you are as of right now. And because of that, I would just like to say that a good way to handle the situation is to just
My
move
father's
forward.
in pain. His eyes hurt. It hurt after the spraying of all that poison bullshit.
Oh.
And so
Now it's spraying,
so-
but first you want to tell me that I threw it over the fence? I need you to get your story straight, please.
Whatever you did.
all right. So before
you-
before we even
Whatever
start
you
talking
did,
to each
poison
other, we do
bullshit.
need to have a ground line to work off of. Right now, you might be talking and trying to get somewhere, but really, this is just
Well, so then can I finish my story? Because I'm not done.
and that's what we're trying to do here. So we're just gonna say, calm yourselves when it comes to talking to each other. Go ahead and finish your story, and we can continue on.
So then, on top of that, they have this camera that's on the side of their house that looks directly into my bathroom, and I don't feel comfortable with that. You know, I don't feel like I can get out of the shower and you know, be undressed. I have to feel like I have to like hide in my own fucking house, like, because I have a camera pointing in at me, like that. I should have the right to feel, you know, safe and not have to feel like violated in my own home just because there's a camera on the side of the house.
Sense of privacy is truly something to be cherished, and
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
But see, then that comes and makes me even more upset because not only the camera and the damn, you know, the trees and the koi that she hasn't had in a pond for so long, so I don't know why she's still complaining about it. But on top of that, like, she wants to go to the cops and tell them that I'm a drug dealer, and so I have, you know, a SWAT unit at my door coming to arrest me. The hell is that? That has nothing to do with my neighbor, okay? And so then, now, on top of all of that, as if all of that wasn't enough, they want to come and try to charge me with vandalism so they can send me back to jail. Like, I don't understand, like, what your problem is with me living in the house and trying to be a good neighbor. That's what I don't understand.
He thinks
Hold
that I
on.
called the cops.
So you're gonna have to hold on. We'll give you a chance to let us know your side of the story. But at first, we're just gonna let.
No, I'm done. You can. I want to hear what she has to say.
Okay. In that sense, when you listen, just keep in mind that she is giving you a kind of respect to let you at least get on with your story. So try to give her
Respect. That's
Not-
funny.
not to give her the same kind of respect, but to just do your best.
Also,
To
just listen. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I have ears.
Okay. So you may go ahead.
He threatened my father. He sprayed or threw whatever he did, all that
Can't do
bullshit
both.
medicine, bullshit poison shit.
Before we go on, you have to keep all comments to yourself until the end of this.
I let you finish.
Can we be clear
So,
on that?
Well, I'm
Maybe
listening.
you should gain some
listening.
respect like you haven't had before.
Alright, so
and
don't
listen.
address him in your side of the story right now. Just let us know what this is. So
What if
your
a
side-
man walked up to your father in the garage and threatened him?
So-
In his garage. That's
Speaking of garages,
he's on-
speaking of garages,
Alright.
let's
He's
call
on
this.
our
No,
property.
Can
no.
we keep the voices?
Yeah, sure, we
Down
can. But
to
she
a
wants to bring up
respectable level.
garages. You know, I almost forgot to tell you guys. I was going over to their house to, you know, try to solve problems, talk
Yeah,
about
right.
things
No,
like a
came
mature individual.
aggressively.
See, you know, we have people over here, a daughter of an 86-year-old man being a child. I'm trying to sit here and be an adult because I have a lot riding on the line right now. So,
Okay, so
no, I'm not done.
no, you are done, because if you continue on, I will end this, and whatever happens to the both of you is not going to get anywhere closer to a resolution that you would find fancy.
And you know, if we end this, you'd be in a way worse situation than she is at the moment. So it's in your best interest to just respect the rules and try and really.
Mediators against me now. Funny. Why am I even here? Anyway, continue.
You can go on with your story.
Okay, so my koi fish that my father really cherished have died because he threw some poison bullshit in our backyard. The bushes are gone, the trees are gone. After that happened, he came into my backyard and destroyed the camera that I have hanging up in our backyard. He also came to my father in his garage when he was just minding his own business, meditating and minding his own business. He aggressively went up to him and threatened him, yelled at him, scared him.
So,
He is 86 years old. What is he supposed to do?
so could you elaborate on that and give us some information? as in-
How did that make you feel? Him doing that? Like, did you feel violated or?
Very violated. I'm very upset. I'm just disrespectful. It should never happen.
And there's been actions that she's shown toward you that made you feel the exact same way, correct?
Okay. because I haven't put a camera up on the side of my house going into their bathroom.
There is no camera. First
That
of all,
camera-
there is no
Okay,
camera.
so but before I hit it down with my broom, there was a camera.
That camera made you feel violated, correct?
It's on my
Yes.
property.
And you
I
coming
have a
Looking
camera.
looking into my proproperty.
and you coming
I don't know
into
what you're
her
talking
garage made her feel violated.
Oh, when I was in her garage, and you mean, you know, she was showing me all of her fancy martial arts kicks that she can do as if to intimidate me?
My father has been doing that for years, and I have too.
So, let's
We always do it in the
But,
garage.
but it happened to be right when I came over to discuss the problem.
let's go ahead and
It's
draw
the way
back
you
to where we
perceive
were. Let's draw back to where we
If you
were.
want to feel threatened by that.
So we're gonna stop from there. Wherever you left off, saying that he came into your garage and threatened you. I just want you to continue on from there, and I know like even if she's saying this and you don't completely agree, you're gonna have to just let it end and then let us know how you feel about that afterwards. So you can go on and finish.
My father does not speak English. My father has never done anything to you. I want the trees replaced, the bushes replaced. I don't know. You can't, obviously you can't replace the fish, but we need back our garden, and you need to respect my father, respect our space.
So
That's what I want.
So, knowing what you want is great. I just would like to give you one last chance to say, is there anything else that you would like to add having to do with the past situations, instead of just giving us the resolutions right now, to just fill us in more about some of the things you might know that we do not know.
Well, he thinks that I called the cops on him. I didn't. He may be angry about that, but I didn't. My father didn't. He doesn't speak English. My father wants nothing to do with him.
And how does that make you feel to know that he's angry with you when about calling the cops when you haven't done that?
I feel helpless. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm tired of him threatening us. There is no camera because obviously he took a broom and took it down, which is very disrespectful.
And to clarify, what would be the purpose of a camera in your backyard?
I mean, obviously for people like him who like to go on other people's property without any type of...
I wasn't on your property, I hit it from my property with my broom.
And
you
so,
walked onto our property and you came into our garage and yelled at my
so
father.
straying away from the
Fabricating
garage,
things.
do you know exactly how your camera was placed, and if it was facing towards him or his property whatsoever, or because I understand that you might have your camera up to watch people or for purposes of the such, but we need to know exactly why it was there, and what purpose it did serve, and if it did serve as
It's
a surveillance.
surveillance for burglars. What do you not understand? Is that against the law to have surveillance towards people who might break into my house?
No, it's not.
Does your surveillance
So-
need to be pointed into my bathroom?
So
Prove that
I
it was
understand.
pointed into your bathroom.
So
Prove it.
to think of it like this, I have a car that it's a pretty fancy car. I just bought it myself a couple months ago.
That's so
And-
irrelevant.
And it's actually not, because think of it in this sense, because it's sitting in my front yard.
This isn't about you right now.
Oh, of course.
So
Of
we're
course.
supposed to listen about your problems when we're here to talk about ours.
Oh no, because mine is a
He's
problem.
he's
It's
just
unreasonable.
making the
Okay.
connection.
Okay.
So now if I do have a camera that watches over that too, and that would be surveillance. But the only difference is it's watching my own property. And so how would it make you feel if you had surveillance
I don't know what
watching
he's
someone else
talking
on their
about
property?
when it was pointed in his direction. I don't know what he's talking about.
So it
I don't
wasn't
know why
pointed in
you
his
can
direction.
tell me that it was pointed in his direction. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
So where was the camera pointed then?
It was pointed onto whatever is not against.
Whatever's not my house, but
Whatever's
directed at,
not my
but
house,
the camera
because-
was pointed at my house, but whatever's not my house, that's what the camera was watching. That's what
It
she's
was
trying to tell me.
watching. It's there to watch over whoever wants to.
She means me.
rob my
in my
house
bathroom.
or
She wants to make sure I don't hop through my bathroom window
Trespass.
and come
Let's
to rob
make
her
this
house.
clear. I'm just gonna ask once. Was the camera pointed in any direction towards his house?
not that I recall.
Mm.
And you say that it was.
Straight in my bathroom. Like, I don't know what they were trying to watch. Like when I got out of the shower, but like.
Well, it's not even there anymore, so let's get to.
Oh, so okay, all of a
The
sudden, it's nice. Now it's irrelevant because it was pointed into my bathroom and she knows it.
So it's
It's
obviously you still feel like disrespected and a bit of
No,
animosity.
I don't feel disrespected. I feel my privacy and my right to privacy has been violated by her and her overbearing
And so
overbearing nature.
you felt it'd be better to take the matters into your own hands by knocking it down instead of confronting her?
Yeah, because actually what had happened was I tried to confront them, but then they slammed the door in my face. So I tried. I made a legitimized effort, right, to go out of my way, spend time to try to reconcile my actions.
Okay.
And so that wasn't working. So I was just getting doors slammed in my
Why would I
face.
want this
And
drug
then-
dealer to come onto my
and then-
property?
Let's not go ahead and make assumptions here.
Yeah, there's no need for name calling.
And
I mean, that's what you
there's
tried to have me
also-
arrested for. I understand, but that's not what I am. So.
I didn't call any cops. You have
Okay.
people maybe searching your home for whatever you have. You may have meth or Vicodin.
Well, I'm glad that's what you think
So
of me. Like I'm
let's-
sure that's what you
Let's go
told the
ahead and
cops.
stop.
When
We're gonna have a quick moment to go ahead and have our one-on-ones because this is not going anywhere right now. I feel like you guys need to just take a step back and remember why you're here.
I'm here to not have to go to jail for vandalizing a property that I didn't vandalize. That's what I'm here for.
And
He
I
does not
understand
know
that.
respect.
And all the snide remarks and the name calling and all the other negativity is not going to help resolve that situation. So it'd be in everybody's best interest to try and listen and keep an open mind about where each person is coming from, because that's the only way that we're going to move past
See,
this.
but I've been listening. You guys told me to shut up, so I shut up and I sat here and I said like this, listening to what she had to say.
Well, we haven't told you to shut up. We have not ever said that. What we have asked you to do is to simply just listen to her.
And I did that, so I don't know why we're sitting here having this conversation again. Because I did listen and I've been listening, so I don't know if you're listening. That's what's concerning me.
Well, it's kind of hard to get an understanding when each other are talking in at the same time. So
Right. So let's go ahead and have our one-on-ones, and then we'll be back in here in just a little bit. I tried.
So it's obvious that you guys aren't communicating effectively, you and the
Let's
other
go,
party. Yeah. And so we're here to resolve that, and you making the snide remarks and cutting in when she's speaking is not helping, and it's only going to further put you in a situation that you don't want to be in. I already understand you've been going through a lot.
No, you didn't.
Exactly. I understand it's been a tough couple months for you, and this is the light at the end of the tunnel if you think about it that way. Like, we're here to try and help straighten things out so you have to deal with a little less. And so all the little comments and everything, if you could just keep those to yourself, or if you can clean them up and just save them for later, we can use it a little more constructively to help.
I've been saving these comments for quite some time since I haven't had like a chance to actually express them to Miss Gobiashi
Okay.
herself or her father. So I've tried, and my life is just difficult in so many ways. My ex-wife left, she took my kids, I got fired, now this after having been arrested. Like, I don't need this. I don't need her cutting in on my life. So I'm sorry if I'm cutting in with small little comments. It's
Okay, that's understandable, but you also have to think about it from like your perspective, but also think about it from her perspective. Like, as much as
trying to screw me over.
as much as you feel disrespected, she's also feeling disrespected. So we have to find a common ground to where both of you guys can express your feelings in a sense that's productive and we can move forward. Because all of this is based on the past, which is relevant, but it's not, you can't let it affect your future. And right now, your past has been troublesome from what I understand, and this is only here to help clean up and get you on the right path for your future. And are you willing to?
I'm on the wrong path for my future. Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm here obviously to get over this with Ms. Kobayashi, but I'm ready to be done with it. I want it to be gone. I don't really want to talk to you. I don't really want to talk to her. I don't really want to talk to your mediator friend. Like, none of that. Like, I'm just here for me, and I'm trying to be about me, and I'm trying to be about me and my life.
And so
moving on with my life.
All right. So the fastest way to get this over with is to comply and
I've been
to
complying, I've
cooperate.
been talking, I've been doing whatever you guys ask. You guys even say, hey, don't talk. I didn't talk. But that's me doing what you ask, and then you want to keep sitting here telling me I'm not doing what you're asking. So I really need you guys to figure it out together. It's a bunch of mediators who are trying to tell me how to get over my problems when y'all got some communication problems. But anyway, you know what? Let's just go on and get on with the meeting. I'm here to comply, do what you got me to do, come to whatever agreement we got to come to, so that my problems and this whole situation can be over. Because I'm not really trying to deal with this any longer. So this is time on my watch and time that I could be spending fixing my life and reprioritizing things. So we ready?
That's
We done?
exactly what we're here for.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay, Ms. Kobayashi, while we're doing this one-on-one, I just want to go ahead and start by saying, calling him names and such like that is not going to help the situation. Regardless of if he is or is not a drug dealer, you know, going ahead and attacking him with things such as like addict or creating meth, things like that, things that would that usually have a negative connotation, will not help in proceeding with the mediation. So, just to pretty much bring it into light, you know, you need to go ahead and hold back on that as much as you can, because what you're here for is, as you've said before, is for your father, and it's for you to get respect and to have maybe a couple of things replaced. You know, if you go ahead and attack someone like that over and over, what's going to happen is it's going to close them up more than it's going to open them up. So really, it's about playing your cards right at this point. But before I want to go into elaborate on other things, I want to ask you, like, how are you feeling about the situation yourself?
I mean, I just feel that you should apologize to me and my father for being so aggressive towards us. We don't do that in our culture. That's very disrespectful.
Right, and seeking an apology would make you feel better by relating to your culture. Is that the main thing that's at play here? You want an apology overall, or is there something else that would be into it?
I do want him to replace the garden, not the fish, but the garden, yes. I do want him to pay for a portion. I want a certified landscaper to do the garden and replace it.
Okay, so you would like to have all of your property restored to where it was before, and for things made right by an apology. Would that be a correct summarization?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, and so if that's your goal, just keep in mind that in order to obtain it, sometimes we have to work with people in a way that we might not find necessary. Or we might not have to stretch our boundaries to do. So I just want you to understand that he is obviously quite infuriated just to be here, but he has already taken the chance to come out and to be here in this mediation. So having done that, there is something in him that is already, you know, trying to help the situation. So let's just go ahead and go back in. Whatever he says, try not to take it on a personal level.
But he assumes and he lies, and he's saying that
And you know, if he is assuming and lying, that is with probably just within his nature, and you're not going to be able to change a person in a mediation right off the bat. Probably the best way to go about it is just to set aside your differences, and hopefully that can lead to something better. And you just have to keep in mind, even if that is within his nature, he is still trying on some level. And you may feel disrespected, but he may also feel disrespected. And so just having that understanding will help with the situation. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, alright, let's get back to it.
Alright, so we've each had a chance to speak with you guys, and so we have a clear understanding of where this mediation is headed now, correct?
Oh yeah.
I hope he is.
Okay, and just remember what we talked about. You just gotta stay on your own mind for as much as you can. Okay. And so, one thing that I'm very sure that both of us have talked about while we had our one-on-ones was the idea of what the purpose is here, as you've already agreed to, and you're already hoping, right? And so, with that said, we are going to just go ahead and.
So, we're gonna go ahead and listen to what each of you guys have to say about coming to a resolution about this. Like, what do you guys feel is the
Can I
best
start?
possible outcome?
Can I start?
We're gonna actually start with
Why?
Yeah, you can let her speak. She wants to speak so badly.
Bias?
We're going to go ahead and do our
Rock,
job.
paper, scissors.
We're going to go ahead and do our job, which is to decide on who we want to speak first. I know you are very anxious, and usually if someone is
No,
very
let her speak first. If she wants to speak, let her speak. Like, she obviously has stuff she wants to get out, so let her.
right, and usually if someone gets frustrated or angry or sad or anything like that, the initial emotion will definitely show it will be much more prevalent over the other emotions such as logic and stuff like that. So I'm not saying what she has in her mind right now would be logical. I'm saying it would be best to just hold it off so she can think about it a little bit more, gather her thoughts a little bit more, and then let it out. So right now you're gonna go ahead and start.
Whatever.
I mean, obviously, I'm not trying to go to jail just because you want to file vandalization charges against me. Whatever, that's done. You already did that. So now I'm dealing with the consequences. And for me, that means not going to jail again. So what I'm willing to do is I'm gonna hear out what you have to say, and then I'll tell you what I'm willing to do in response to that, and whether if I'm ready to compromise and meet all of your demands. That's what I'll do.
And before you go ahead and get started, don't go into this with the mindset that you must compromise everything she says.
I
Mediation
didn't say
is-
that. I didn't. But
Or the idea that you might have to. Because from what we understand, or at least what I understood, was the idea that you want to hear everything she says, and then you're going to decide from there if you're going to comply to all of them. Is that right?
yeah, it doesn't mean I plan on doing all of them. It depends
Yes.
on how asinine some of the stuff she wants to say is. So just I'm gonna listen to her, and I'm gonna hear her requests, and I'll let her know how I feel about it after that.
And with that said, he's going to listen to what you have to say. So keep it as calm.
Why does it have to
and
take
just
that
quiet as
long?
much
I
to-
could have just started from the get-go. Okay, let me.
It's fine. It's so that you understand that he is listening to you.
You can go ahead and speak.
First, foremost, I really need you to stop threatening my father. To stop being aggressive is the number one thing that I want. And to just show some respect to my 86-year-old father. My mother just died, and it's been really hard. And maybe a genuine apology, and maybe a replacement of my rosebuds and my trees, apple trees. cherry trees.
Alright.
Well, first off, let me start by saying everyone's mother's dies, no offense. I too have lost not only my wife, but my kids. So
Did she die?
No, they're gone.
Okay.
They're gone though.
Exactly.
And I also lost my job, so you just are adding another burden onto my life. Let me just explain that. So I'm trying to lift my burden, and in attempts to do so, I'm going to go ahead and be willing to pay you $500 for all your shrubs and your little shrubbery that's probably gonna die again.
$550.
No, 500 is as high as I would go.
$525.
I'll
Well,
be, no, please, let me talk to her. We can do this. If we're trying to move forward, we can do this. I will pay you 500. I'll give you your sorry, and that will be very, very heartfelt. And as far as respect goes, I'll show respect if you guys want to show respect. Like, I'm not here to be disrespectful, but at the same time, I'm not going to show respect if I'm being disrespected.
Alright, so to get a clear understanding, what do you both define as respect?
Well, I'm not looking for an invasion of privacy. I'm not looking to be sued or have someone tell the cops that I'm a drug dealer and have them come arrest me for that. That alone breaches my level of respect for Miss Kobayashi and her father in many different ways. And I'm not saying I can't come to respect you, but where we are now, that doesn't look like that's happening.
Alright, so respect to you initially would
He
be...
almost hit my father.
No, I almost hit you.
So respect initially would be to be left alone.
So you're gonna hit a woman.
So
This
be-
is why I
before-
feel
before-
so unsafe.
Did I say now? No, I said I almost.
So before we go
But that's
back into the
behind us.
past, we already have moved forward. Let's stay
I know
here.
martial arts. You think you can really...
And
There's no need to
that's
Why are you threatening me?
Yeah.
Now you're threatening me in the present when I said I did almost like in the past. So there's now
Can we just let him speak for a second? please?
Threats are threats.
Okay. So we've already come to the idea that respect would be to be left alone and not to have your privacy invaded.
for me, yes.
So that's what we have right now. And how about you? What would your idea of respect be?
Not seeing or speaking to him again. Very
Well, that's just
disrespectful.
avoidance
So-
and marginalization.
Well,
You're just trying to push
although
me
it is
away.
avoidance, it is actually falling within the same category. Would you not agree?
No,
Because-
I wouldn't. I'm not seeking to avoid them. I don't care. I want to be a good neighbor to them. I do, and that's what I want because I don't want my public reputation being put on the line. Like that's not how I function as a human being. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and have them try to tell me they're trying to avoid me, and that's why we're having problems. Like,
And how would being a good neighbor lead to your public reputation being affected?
because if everyone's sitting over here saying I'm a bad neighbor, like I'm not when I'm not, like and so far Miss Kobayashi's the only one to say that, like I can move forward. Like I don't want my reputation tarnished just because she's trying to sit over here and say that I killed some plants or that I splat through something in her father's face or that, you know, I which I did break their camera, granted, and I'm willing to pay for that. I am because but it had to be repositioned. But I did do that, right? So yeah, but I made my attempts and that resulted in the door being slammed in my face, and to me that's me trying to be a good neighbor and go out of my way to try to talk about it, and I'm not getting that.
So
I don't want to be called a bad neighbor by Miss Kobayashi telling all her friends.
Right.
Like,
So
it may be a while before you guys can effectively communicate face to face to each other, and we're not here so you guys can just be friends and sit there and like have tea and like chit chat. We're here to resolve the issue at hand. So if that is not seeing each other for a while just to really get your emotions back intact, then that's something that we can do, and then time may heal that hurt that both of you guys are feeling right now, that disrespect that both of you guys feel toward each other.
definitely, I want her to understand I'm your neighbor. I will see you. That's all.
okay, so then here we go. We draw back to the idea of privacy, right? So the idea of privacy in the sense that you do still want to be, he still wants to be your neighbor at the very least. And he's willing to be your neighbor so long as you understand that, you know, he doesn't want you to videotape him on his own property and stuff like that. And you would like to
Damn it!
We were doing
Alright.
so good
I
off
was,
the
I was
bat.
just like, I just gotta look at the wall. Like, that's it.
drawing back to where we were, that is how you would find your privacy. And so if anything, you would come to not a consensus but just to a form of agreement here. And then afterwards, try to communicate outside of this in as much as you can. And what I would like to say, just for a confrontation sense, you don't want to have a bad reputation. And just to be clear, do you believe that she's been giving you a bad reputation?
Oh yeah.
And alright, so that's what you believe. Now let's leave it at that. I'm just going to ask you, have you told anyone, or have you been making him look bad in any sense other than trying to let us know?
No, I'm a private person. Keep this to myself.
Except for the police, but you know it's okay.
I
And
never
she-
called the police.
And she already said that she never called the police.
See, he assumes.
So before we go on to that, what's making you think that she called the police on you?
Well, she had her camera, right? She didn't like me. She thought I killed her koi fish and her plants, and then the police show up at my house telling me, "Oh, I'm a narcotics dealer," and then they arrest me. How does that not logically add up? She's the only one that had the motive in the whole neighborhood to have even tried to say anything like that. So that's not I'm being out of my mind. That's me like making the logical inference about like what happened. So y'all do what you gotta do, like.
Okay. So with that said, it sounds like this is just going to be left as is. You're going to say you didn't, and you're going to say
It's
she did.
possible. That's what I'm saying.
You're saying it's possible. But then, on the bright side, at least you're open up to the idea that she didn't. And hopefully you can understand that when she's saying she didn't, there might be something in there that says, that, or something in there that
There's some truth to it.
there's some truth to that statement, yes. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's talk more about how we're going to move forward here. So, one, we just want to be left alone, even if it's temporarily, you know, just be left alone so we can get some privacy. Not to say that after a certain amount of time, privacy will then be invaded, but we're just going to be left alone. Can you both agree on that?
I already told her I'm her neighbor. I'll see her, but yeah, I'm not about to invade your privacy. So just don't put another camera up. Like it's cool.
Okay. And to move forward, you also said you would be willing to kind of like an apology to pay $500 to help replace some of the things
I
that.
said I'd give an apology, and I just want to clarify that. But yeah,
Right.
And is that
And so-
acceptable? Are
I'll
those terms
accept it.
acceptable?
but I mean I'm not. Let's can we agree upon I'm not paying for your koi fish because I didn't kill those. That was just were
They're
not
irreplaceable.
right.
I'm not asking for
because
that.
they were
I
because they
never
were
asked
non-existent.
for that.
Okay, so that's it's another
That's
agreement.
Okay. And I also think this would help both of you just to see you can get a clearer idea. $500. Exactly what do both of you think that would be able to replace?
He needs to hire a certified landscaper.
Well, instead of what he needs to do, what do you think would happen with $500? As in, do you think a certain
get
part
a
of you?
beautiful apple tree.
Okay.
I know landscapers who can certified landscapers. Don't you worry, because I know you think I'm a drug dealer and so all that whatnot. But yeah, no, I know official people who can get the job done for about $500, and by that I mean replacing about half of, if not
Are they
more than half of.
certified?
I just said that, yes.
Yeah, you just said this.
You need to clarify it.
Clarify
Well, he-
again. I said the professional. I know
he
you're
said-
I know you think I'm a drug dealer and all, but they are professional, legitimized. So
Just like you thought that you.
okay, see, we're done with this. That's
Yeah,
it. We're
so
done with
that's
this.
He has his hand up. It's disrespectful.
No, so that remember
That's
Don't
enough.
throw your hands at me.
it is
Don't throw your accusations at
it
me.
is
like-
natural for people to use
That's
gestures. when they're-
natural.
It's natural
I
for
am
people
a
to use.
woman.
And you are also a martial artist, and you understand that people naturally
What am I again?
are martial artists,
Tell it to him.
and he already knows.
Well, she's trying to throw me
He already
in,
knows.
see?
And see, and so being a part of that, you should also know through your training, is that people use gestures when they speak. So, at this moment, he doesn't
He's not
seem to be
even paying
threatening.
attention.
Oh, I lost interest when you threatened me again.
So let's before we go on. So you're gonna have to bring your interest back in. I know
I have
she's
interest
been-
in this, but what she's saying right now, irrelevant. Like, I'm here to listen to you guys right now.
That is true, and that is fair enough. You can go ahead and just
Can I leave?
realize in the world. You may not until we finish.
I
And
have things to do.
and
My father
That
needs
is-
me to feed him. He can't feed himself.
So then, let's hurry up.
and is your father not gonna benefit from this too?
My father doesn't even know what's really going on. He doesn't know much English, so he doesn't understand where Dale even comes from.
But you understand the severity of the situation for your father, and so that's why what we're doing here is so relevant. So, if we can both just cooperate with each other and convene and come to a decent resolution, I feel like it'd benefit everybody here. So,
Fine.
Right. And so, to be said, moving on from that, right now you guys are not threatening each other. You're pretty much understood that you're both willing to have your own space, and you're actually willing to, or at least he's willing to help you out in restoring your backyard. And so you're both gonna have to just take up that helpful hand and move forward in that sense that you have come to a conclusion of having your own space without invasion of privacy and helping each other out in the form of replacing what has been done.
agreed?
Is that clear? Are we
Sure.
good?
Yes.
I'll put a business card with some $500 in an envelope, and I'll put it under your mat, so you know we don't talk. So
Okay.
That would be really appreciated.
just don't lose the
All
money
right.
until I lost the
All
money.
right. So typically I would end off on a hug, but I know this is not the best time to do it. So I'll just go ahead and say, if you can just shake hands, that would be a great start, and that'll be a new start. And everything in the past, not to be thrown away, but to just move forward from what has been done. So now it's
a bit of a stretch.
it is a bit of a stretch, and it is out of your comfort zone. But that's why I'm leaving it to you guys. So this could be your new start, or it could not, and you can go about your day. And this is
I
where
will-
mediators would step back, and this is where you let yourself deal.
Okay. I will shake his hand when I'm ready. Not today.
Sounds
Alright.
Perfect. All right. So thank you for joining us, and yeah.
You don't. That's why it's so
Yeah,
fun. Cause it's just like
I'm not mostly a mean person.
Yeah.
How well were the parties prepared, and how could we have benefited from further studies like roles, emotions, needs, interests?
I felt prepared. I felt as if I knew a lot of more information from watching you guys.
Yeah, see that's always like a strength too,
Yeah.
like
Cause you get a better understanding of like the character.
yeah, and then you're like, oh, okay, this is what I would do, like where I wouldn't have added that or would have added
Yeah.
this, like
I could have sworn there was something you were saying in the beginning, and I was like, that's not how it goes. And I don't remember what it is, but I could have sworn. I'll look back on the video later and be like, oh, that's what it was. But
Was it from the story?
it was from your part, because I know I read it, and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's not how it went.
Tell me
and
which
I-
one.
I don't remember. It was.
oh, when I went to the backyard.
Huh?
She was saying I like went to the backyard, right, and scared your dad when he was like meditating or something.
No, I didn't see that.
It was just
The
something.
garage.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
It was just something interesting. Though. I like how you said, how you're like, I can bite you. Let's go. Relax. Come on. Because you totally changed character after the one-on-one. Yeah, at first she was all calm, and then after the one-on-one, whatever, let's go.
I was like,
What happened?
even
He
before
was being more like me though, wasn't he?
He was being more calm.
after the
He
one-on-one.
was he threw snidey remarks.
Oh, when I was like, we're still neighbors.
He's like, I'll still see you. I was like, oh god, like I was trying not to laugh, like.
was still aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it was just like more passive aggressive. Like it wasn't just like, well this and this, like, because I did do that like before the one-on-one, and then I was like, then I kind of went off on hard, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna calm it down. Like I'm still trying to get out of here and not go to jail. Like I was like, in the back of my mind, and I feel like I probably could have played on that more. Like, really.
Go on.
No, I just didn't say like too much about like the jail. 1 or 2 points wherein students portrayed the party's interests well. I thought you Karina, you kept bringing up like your dad and respect, and I think that was like the big, like we already said, those were like the biggest like points for them. Like, so I was like, okay, well that makes sense. Like, and then you kept bringing up like even with the koi fish, you're like, it's not about the fish, it's about like my mom, and then like I was just being like insensitive to that, and then.
Yeah, and then other than that, I think you were also portraying, at the end where you're like, I just want to not have these things filed against me, stuff like that. And it was like pretty spot on with what the character really wanted. I did enjoy. Well, no, that's for another question.
When do they seem unrealistic?
I think your jumping character, I don't think that seemed realistic. Like, there was a huge difference. At first you were
I didn't notice it though. Like,
I did. I was like, oh, what? She, like, cause, like, she had, like, remarks, but only as responses to yours. And then she didn't really she was more in-kept. But then after the one-on-one, she started, like, being a lot more verbal, and I was like, huh.
That's true.
I was like, well, I'm dealing with this one now.
That happens. That's life.
It's like conversation kind of just goes everywhere. Like there's no like.
Well, I thought that the mediators would, kind of go straight to. Okay, what are your goals? And his goals, I mean, he kind of was assuming things, and I felt like you guys weren't.
No, I was, because like even in here it says like I have no like actual evidence. It's just like I assume. Like,
this is probably for another question, but I felt as if you guys were just kind of ignoring the fact that he didn't have evidence of it, and you guys ignored that fact.
I honestly did. Like, now that you said it, I was like, I didn't really. I never asked, like, oh, did you, you know what I mean? Like,
I tried to tackle that at points, but I didn't do it as much as I should.
Because I know when you brought up the like, I poured it over and like got on your dad's face, I was gonna be like, oh yeah, well, do you have like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because, I see what you're saying. Like evidence to like, on both sides. Like, yours, I was like, well, you called the cops on me. Anyone could have called the cops on you. Yeah, but... And then I tried. No, we got into that at the end, I think.
Yeah. But you guys should have questioned
we did a little bit.
Yeah,
we should have done. And I think that's something else.
That's why we could have, like, used questioning.
Yeah, definitely. But then, like, how would you tackle, let's say, like,
Like... So what makes you think that she was the one that called the cops?
And then, and then you say this, and then she disagrees. So then what?
Yeah.
What?
So
because
the way I took that,
you could have put it as like, well, I mean, in general, it could have been anyone.
Yeah. Any of your neighbors,
right?
Not just her.
But then he also had the good argument, like she's the only one that would have a good reason to do it. And so, I'm not saying like.
But then you could have like, people just don't want a drug dealer in their fucking like,
But who knows that, Like,
I mean, but
we don't know that as mediators.
But see, that's the thing. That's where it's like, I don't know how much we can make up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like.
But it was. It's kind of like how much can we tackle and how can we tackle it. That was good. All right, next question.
Ways to improve roleplay for the next one. Definitely laughter got us again at a few points.
I don't know, I feel like I guess I could study more of my mediator notes. Like, it's just like, I feel like I'm still not good at like the in the moment things, because it's just like you never know what's gonna be said, and then it's just like you have to think about your reaction and then like the best reaction. Like, all right, now how can I handle it the best way? It's just like
it was super neat to for me at least, my focus from last time, and I think I did well on it, was to do better for the introduction and to also do better with the character. And I didn't focus with like some of these we just learned in the past few classes, which would be like cutting people off and active listening and stuff like that, and also the conclusion.
Reframing.
Yeah, and then also a conclusion. So yeah, my conclusion was hella weak, so I can.
Yeah, I didn't even.
I mean,
So yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, I have no idea what yeah, I think just conclusion.
Yeah.
I feel like ours worked only because we had you guys shake hands and it worked. Because you guys had diffused the tension more. Oh crap.
You guys have the room?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We got just
Can
5
we
more
get 5
minutes real quick. We're wrapping up on it. So thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Okay, so what were our general dispositions? Oh wait, your guys' dispositions. I just felt like at some points it was you guys were really relaxed, and then other points you guys were well, and then that's why I was as Mr. Smith, I was oh hell no, you guys want to tell me to shut up? I'm gonna just shut up, sit here. I've been listening, and then that was when I felt you guys were not pressing a resolution, but it was more pushing for me to listen to understand, and then I kind of just bit back on that for a while.
Right. Sounds pretty right.
I feel like there was any push for a resolution, not until the end.
Yeah, I feel like after the 101s it was.
I think in the beginning we pushed for a resolution, but we didn't push for a certain resolution. We just said
we're
you're gonna find a conclusion.
Yeah, we're gonna come to a resolution,
Yeah.
but then it was,
And even in the end, it was we kind of did some circular talking, and then hit the resolution kind of just naturally.
Alright, next one.
In your observations, the mediators seem to understand the nuisances. Yeah, I feel like you guys understood, especially in our one-on-one. You were I understand you have a lot riding on this.
yeah.
I was okay, yeah, you're right. And then I was ooh, man, I'm gonna shut up and listen.
For me, one of the things I liked was when you were really going off on him, and then you're oh he's threatening me something. I'm you're a martial artist. You should know he's just talking. It's no threat. But yeah, I was that's just all emotional. Anyways, yeah.
Specific tools, traits, or qualities that you guys use that worked well. You guys did a lot. I saw some reframing attempts to validate. At the beginning, he said even if a validation doesn't work once, try it again, or just try to understand because you're not gonna get mad. And I did, and I was no, I'm not feeling that way. This is how I actually feel, and I feel that kind of helped bring a little more understanding to the table.
I think we used a lot of questioning too.
Yeah.
And did really well on that.
Changing or needs attention, I'd say kind of just probably mediators and for characters kind of just get more depthful into it
Yeah.
I don't know when I'm a character I just feel anger
Yeah, I think it was just you were feeling a lot of anger instead of putting yourself in my shoes.
Yeah.
Which I think the mediator should have said that.
I don't know if that was
Good point.
a me
That's good
flaw
point.
or if it was a character thing that because I feel with that much writing on you, you might not
And you wouldn't try and jeopardize it
No, I feel like
Because Dale's what's his name?
Dale.
Yeah.
Dale, he wanted to get along with.
Yeah, he wanted. Well,
But
he
you were
wanted
you were angry. You got hella attitude.
I
He
mean,
was
the way I was thinking about it was it was a personal first off you done called the cops on me, and then now it's you're trying to just get me in jail any way you can
Yeah.
So that
But
was
I felt that you repeated.
a lot.
I think we repeat stuff.
Yeah, I
A
feel like it
lot.
went in circles a couple
Little-
times,
yeah,
but then
we go in
it was
these
So it's how many times until you cut out?
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean,
Get over it.
But I feel like that really is how it goes.
no,
though,
think about it,
even in
that,
real life.
in real conflict, real
Yeah.
conflict is we're saying the same shit because you're not understanding the
Yeah.
base of what I'm saying. So
Yeah, and so how because we have talked about in class, how you get out of it, but just
Yeah.
inserting that statement wherever it needs to be.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to interject or reframe,
Yeah.
revalidate before.
And at what point can we just say get over it?
Right?
Jeez.
Honestly.
That's a good. No, I feel like you brought that up. I feel like you said don't be afraid to kind of just shut it down once it's been played out too much.
Yeah.
Good job,
Okay.
guys.
Good job. Yeah.